Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Across the Stage podcast, brought to you by AbsoluteMotorsport.com and the Alloy TV. I'm James Casey, and joining me today, as always, is Josh Sittill. Today is episode 5, and we're going to be reviewing the Mexico Rally, and then very briefly talking about the Corsica Rally as well, with the entry list out today. So, looking back at Mexico, a very interesting round, certainly very atrocious. But it was Sébastien Ogier who took the victory. A little bit of a slow start, obviously running second on the road on Friday, but really a great performance on Saturday and Sunday. And once he got going, he just looked unbeatable, didn't he?
Yeah, a really, really good drive here from Ogier. I mean, everyone else just seemed to kind of fall apart, but Ogier kept it all together, and this is a huge win for him because, as you mentioned, coming here second on the road and coming away with the victory, that's huge for the championship. So yeah, great job from Ogier and his rivals with work to do.
Yeah, and certainly I think he really asserted why he's the five-time champion after a very disappointing Sweden. But yeah, as always, Ogier coming back fighting. But there was a little bit of a problem, which we're going to touch on now, in the power stage. So, obviously, last time out, there was a bit of controversy, and it was back again here with a 10-second penalty, denying him the 4 power stage points that he had picked up for hitting a plastic bollard. And it was a rather strange one, to say the least.
Yeah, a little bit ridiculous, but I think the other team, obviously someone from the other team obviously reported him, and then the stewards looked at it, and then they obviously gave him a penalty. People obviously said that I think Neville did the same thing and during the first pass during the stage, or someone else, but obviously that didn't go reported, so they didn't get a penalty. So that's kind of how I saw that one. But yeah, still a bit of a strange one in 10 seconds for that, which I don't think he'd have gained 10 seconds by any means.
No, it's a shame really, but because I'm not sure if this was a particular one, but since the new cars came out, they've been adding a lot more of these man-made chicanes to try and slow the cars down for safety reasons. Unfortunately, it's a really Mickey Mouse corner, which is a shame to lose 10 seconds there, but I do kind of understand it.
Yeah.
But in a certain respect, Rally doesn't really take into account track limits. If you're on a gravel bit of stage, you could cut it all you like. So I think there's a little bit of an odd system there, but obviously, if you are running into barriers on purpose, which is what some people were suggesting, that they were kind of cutting it, thinking, oh, we can hit the barriers, it doesn't matter, no damage, and we'll get away with it. But yeah, I can kind of understand it for safety reasons. You don't want barriers flying around, but yeah, usually track limits don't come into it. But yeah, certainly a strange one. M Sport have appealed it, so hopefully in the next episode we'll have some news on whether that has been overturned. Personally, I don't think it will be overturned. I think they'll stick with it.
Yeah, completely agree. But his second win, anyway, like you said, his second win of the season, that kind of equals his 2017 tally, which is really weird in terms of win. He's already kind of equaled that. So, like you say, I think obviously last year it was a very much a learning year, and he still won the championship. This year we're seeing a full assault from Ogier and M Sport, and they're looking pretty mighty at the moment, but not unbeatable. It has to be said.
Yeah, I think that the fact that the field is so close is gonna make it so interesting, as we've seen already. I think personally with Ogier, he's going to be right up there, or he's going to struggle a little more, because he had rallies last season where I felt that he was a little bit off the pace, but he still got good results. I don't think this year he can afford that, and we saw that with Neuville as well, which will be the next person we'll move on to. He picked up P6 thanks to a lot of crashes, but opening the road, he was right down there, just like Ogier in Sweden, wasn't he? He was really struggling in the early stages of the rally.
Yeah, that really cost him dearly, just as we kind of thought. And that probably makes Ogier's win even more impressive, of course, because as we mentioned, he was running second on the road. So yeah, great job from Ogier. Yeah, really unlucky for Neville because he was kind of road sweeping all weekend long. It was a bit weird, I think, how they didn't put the guys who were coming back under Rally 2 at the very front of the running order. But yeah, Neville definitely suffered with that one, finishing basically last of the actual finishes. I mean, we got Tiedemann in 7th and Latvala in 8th, so Neville was pretty much the last of those runners, just like, as you said, Ogier in Sweden, pretty much, other than, sacrificing Evans. But yeah, not a great rally for Neville, but at the same time, he still picked up a lot of points. His own points tally from this weekend is good. It's just the fact that Ogier's gone and won the rally, which is going to make Neville, I think, disappointed with his weekend.
And obviously in the next rally, obviously that road position switches over, but it's negligible. Well, it's actually an advantage to run first at Corsica. So, yeah, I think he will be disappointed with that. A few offs as well. And I did start to think, when a rally starts going wrong for Neuville, there is a tendency that it gets worse and worse and worse. I think that's something that he might have to snap out of. I think when things start going wrong, he tries to make up for it too much. The frustration gets the better of him. I think that could be a bit of a problem. But in the end, he did bring it home. A few scuffs and bumps along the way. But
and power outages going through puddles as well.
Yeah, he was not having a good time of it with his engine. It was super special again. He had problems on that, didn't he? With the engines cutting out on that one as well. So, yeah. But, yeah, in the end, what was it? It was 11 points, wasn't it? Through the 3 power stage points. So, not bad. Then, we'll go back to the podium now, back to the front. And Danny Sordo in the Hyundai led on Friday. Had a little bit of a problem on Saturday with a puncture. But in the end, was able to take P2 and a really good comeback after that frustrating drive in Monaco.
Yeah, definitely. This is exactly what Sordo needed. I mean, to be fair, he showed good pace in Monte Carlo, so maybe this shouldn't be such a big surprise. Obviously, he benefited from others' misfortune and also he benefited from road position, but still he made the most of that opportunity, still picked up a puncture and still recovered to second. So top job from Sordo, and he's actually the first Hyundai third driver between Sordo and Paddon to actually contribute to the manufacturer's total. So yeah, credit to Sordo. He did the job that he needed to do this weekend. And if he and Paddon can continue to do that all season, then they're going to give Neuville a really good chance of winning this title. So yeah, great job from Sordo. Yeah, I think you can't really ask for much more, could you, than second place? I couldn't really see him winning it. I mean, I know he was leading, but it kind of almost kind of felt that, you know, others were going to kind of catch up eventually.
Yeah, I think we can safely say that there was only one man, who we'll get onto later, I think, that could have challenged Ogier later in the rally. I think Sordo did all he had to do. Hyundai, obviously, they want him to get good results, but they don't expect him to be pushing absolutely all he can to pick up wins, because obviously they want manufacturer points. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll be very happy with that second position. And in third, it was Chris Meek. A very good weekend for Citroën, but not a particularly great one for Meek. He had a troublesome weekend, but in the end, he did bring it home.
One of the worst third place finishes I've seen. It was woeful. It was, yeah, I don't know. It was a very messy weekend for him, I think. But you know, good pace shown there or thereabouts. But yeah, I don't know. Messy is a word I'd use to describe it.
Yeah, I again, it was one of the sort of like Neuville, where one mistake happens, something goes wrong, and then it just kept on going wrong. But thankfully for him, despite a roll, well, like half roll on the final morning, he was still able to pick up third, and that was one of the stranger incidents I've seen. Almost run over people in the crowd, and
oh yeah, I wonder what he was doing then.
Crowd breaking the wing and all kinds of things. Yeah, very
half trips though this time, so you can be happy. But yeah, I mean, if he won last year and came third here, then this year, I mean, podium's good, but he'd have been wanting more, especially what we saw from Loeb this weekend. Yeah, not too great.
And he wasn't happy with himself as well. There was some choice words, shall we say, in some of the articles I've read about his performance. But he's doing a lot better than he was this time last season.
That's true. That's true.
Consistency. Obviously,
he's in the championship fight.
Yeah. Didn't have a good Sweden, but good Monty and reasonably good points from Mexico. And then his teammate, the one and only Sebastian Loeb, and well, what can we say really? Just a fantastic performance from start to end. Just one minor problem really putting him out of contention.
Yeah, I mean, if people didn't think he was already the greatest driver, or the greatest rally driver of all time, then this kind of, certainly helped confirm that. And it's such a shame, really, that we're not getting this Loeb versus OGIER fight, which we really wanted. And even though he came back for this weekend, we were still robbed of it this weekend as well, obviously, with that puncture, which is a shame. But he's going to be back in Corsica as well, and one more event. Where was it else?
Spain.
Was it? Spain, that was it, yes. So he'll be very competitive there as well. So, yeah, expecting a really good fight in Corsica. This was a great warm-up event, I guess you could say. Yeah, he what was it, 3 stages in, I think? That's pretty much all it took him, and he was like winning stage 4, or, he was pretty much off from there.
Was his first stage win. but he was in contention at the end of the morning loop on Friday.
Incredible pace.
So,
Incredible pace. Yeah.
yeah, just I mean, people don't get 9 championships for nothing,
In a row.
and I think I was I was surprised by how quickly he picked up the pace,
Yes.
but I was not surprised that he picked up the he had the pace, and just a great performance. I personally, I did think going into the weekend that he had a chance of winning it if other people didn't have problems. If other people did have a little bit of problems, and I think without that puncture, he would have been fighting Ogier just generally without, and obviously Ogier didn't have any issues, so it would have been close. That puncture cost him, what was it? I think he lost 2 minutes 27 on that stage, and they ended up around about that behind.
Yeah.
So, yeah, would have been really close. As you say, Corsica, honestly, I'd be surprised if he was not at least really close to the victory.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think he probably will win.
He's got a lot less to lose as well, because I think his main rivals for Corsica is probably going to be Neville, obviously who won it last year, and Ogier, of course, is always in contention. So yeah, I put him as a favourite, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And then just wrapping up our Mexico look, and Toyota again, not a good Sweden and not a good Mexico either. I mean, even worse here.
Yeah, I mean, they completely fell apart, didn't they? Just like last year. Loads of issues with the car. Big crash for Lappi, and just not really going well for any of their Toyotas really. I mean, Tanak, showed decent pace, and Latvala as well when he came back. But yeah, I don't know, just fell apart just like last year.
Yeah, and yeah, as you said, a really good day for Tanak on Friday, but they need to sort out their reliability. I mean, whether it's heat here in Mexico, they have problems. That's kind of understandable. But then last season as well, they had Finland, Poland, where they're having problems. So, yeah, definitely the reliability of that Toyota needs to be worked on a little bit. I think the drivers did a good job where they could. And in the end, some decent points for Tanak with a power stage win. And also for Latvala, who managed to get back into 8th due to everyone else crashing out and WRC2 not being very competitive. He was able to come 8th and again picking up a few power stage points. So not a disaster for those two in the Drivers' Championship, but far from ideal. And I did just touch on WRC2 very briefly there. We don't really need to say much more than just no one got close to Pontus Tiedemann, did they?
It was back to normal, wasn't it? After that weird Sweden event where Katsuta beat him, it was back to normal for Tiedemann. Exactly what he needed. Great job from Gus Greensmith to just get to the end, and it was second place in the end for him. Local, well, I say local, Pedro Heller, pretty local. Next door, we got some from Bolivia as well. I think he's a teenager, first time or something in a R5 car. So great job from him. Rovanperä 5th, Hutton and 6th. Those two again seem to be not quite getting the results they'd be wanting.
Yeah, and obviously that 5th and 6th might paint a picture that makes it seem like they had some slight issues, but Rovanperä was certainly like an hour off because there were so many people that ran into troubles that he was still able to pick up 5th. So, yeah, Tiedemann just dominated from start to finish. I think he won all but like 1 or 2 stages pretty much, and 7th overall, which is not, you don't usually see WRC.
You can't get much better than that, can you? I think that might be his highest one.
Yeah, I think for him personally,
joint highest. Let's have a look. Yes, it is. Can confirm. This is his first ever 7th place, as you were.
A nice little bonus, I think, being there in the overall. So
ahead of Sunderland in the championship. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that. And Elvin Evans needs to be looking out for that as well after his problems. Yeah.
Oh dear.
But yeah, now looking ahead to Corsica, we've both said that Loeb is our favourite. And again, there won't be Breen, which I was disappointed to see in the entry list. I thought that with it being Citroen's home round, they'd bring out a 3rd car, but it looks like they're instead going to be focusing their extra resources for their home rally on the launch of their R5 car instead, with Lefebvre and Bonato as well. So no Breen again in Corsica. Danny Sordo stays on at Hyundai in the 3rd car, which we both agree is good, keeping that momentum going. And then Bouffier back in the third M Sport car after some not great results from Suninen, so he'll be hoping when he comes back we need to do a little bit better. Just trying to think, is there anything else significant about Corsica?
No, I don't think so. I think Totus, obviously, they're the ones who really need a really good rally. Citroen, this is a great chance to win on home soil in both WRC and WRC2. We'll be interesting to see how their R5 car goes on because Tiedemann's not there, so you've got a chance of winning.
Yeah.
Katsuta's back though, so
Yeah,
maybe
Katsuta
actually,
and
yeah. I'd say for the second category, I'm looking at him definitely just to see was it a one-off or is this going to be a proper championship charge?
Yeah, so WRC2 is actually going to be really interesting.
And Junior WRC as well, second
Junior
round.
WRC's there as well,
Yes.
and RGT as well.
Yes.
We've got
Yes.
4 Fiat Baths, the little 124s, and 3 Porsches as well. So, yeah, really good entry list, I think, for Corsica.
Yes, 92.
Yeah, for your
One of those
general
Abarth's got,
rally
I think one of those Abarth's got like fourth on one of the Monte Carlo stages overall because the change. So watch out for that if there's some freak weather.
Yeah, so that should be a good one. And the championship is still pretty close. I need to actually see this, but with Ogier's points taken off, he's only got, I think it's a 4-point lead now over Neuville. So 56 for Ogier, 52 for Neuville. And then in third place, it's Andreas Mikkelsen. He's just keeping it consistent at the moment.
But yeah, he needs a big result there, doesn't he? I think Mikkelsen's pace hasn't been on level with Neuville at all. I think people obviously were hoping it was going to be both of those two challenging Ogier, but at the moment it's really only Neuville. But like you said, he's bagging the points anyway, so he'll need that turnaround. Portugal, that's when they're running 4 cars Hyundai, so they'll be kind of targeting that as getting all the drivers up to speed for that, and there could be a really big result there.
And then from Mikkelsen down, we've got Meek, Latvala, Tanak all within 10 points, those 4 drivers. And then we're kind of into our Lappies, 23, Breen, 20, and then the part-time drivers and Evans, as we said earlier, struggling quite badly, only on 8. But that is good to see that the championship is still close after 3 rounds, so that makes Corsica all the more interesting. And we won't do a full review for Corsica, so the next episode will be a review of that one. But I hope you have enjoyed listening to us ramble on today, and we'll be back then. Goodbye.